Hey, Layton, my man, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well, thanks, Elijah.
Beautiful, and thank you so very much for being here. I say I truly appreciate it. And you say, Layton, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things, and I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Layton, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You say you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, lately, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, beautiful. So there was this tall, unattractive mango tree, and I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Layton, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. See, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, but ripe mangoes. It was a special moment for me that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Leighton that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you say you got the request from me to be on the show. And just before you got the request from me, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Leighton is doing because I got attracted to the fruit of your work, your insights, your philosophies, and how you are offering your solution. It's amazing. So thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so much, Batman. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate.
Beautiful. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, Layton, for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Layton, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Layton on the show is for the sake of the audience. Say, Layton, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, lady, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. Because right now, we are just so curious. We want to know how Leighton got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Leighton, over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for the beautiful introduction. I also appreciate your time today, and I very much appreciate your quest for continuing the knowledge. I also am on that same path, and I guess that is part of the reason where I ended up where I am today. I I don't have I have a story that's not very different from a lot of other people, but I think it's a little bit different in that I took some time to sit in it and make some major changes in my life, and have ended up where I am now, which is amazing for me. That 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I'd have never seen myself, where I am today, and I guess it started where. Um, I had a great life, wonderful life. My parents are still married. I'm still very close with them. I'm close with my sister. I have a wonderful group of friends, and I had a very successful career. I have two grown-up children that are in their 20s now. They're moved on, starting their own families. I could not be any more proud or happy to say that they're my kids. And I got to this point where I was in this beautiful corporate world with, what most people would say, you've got this amazing job, you got a company vehicle and an expense account, and you've got everything. You checked all the boxes. Now you're supposed to coast. And I was not happy with coasting. And, I was to the point where I was sitting with myself in the morning thinking, what is this itch? What is it possible? I have enough money. I have enough things. There's nothing that I need to buy. I mean, I'm not an independently wealthy man by any means, but never have I wanted for food. In my adult life, I have supplied for my children, provided for my family very well. I've been successful. I had a good job. I've done very well. And yet for some reason, there was this itch. What is this that I am looking for? What is it? Why? It's not that I'm unhappy, but there's something that I want more. And I mean, it's not another promotion. It's not another investment. It's not another toy or a car or something like that. There was nothing that could satisfy this sensation. So then I began, very similar to like you talk, Elijah, looking for knowledge. What is this? And I had always very much been proud of the fact that I was an individual and I was someone that stood out. And whether it was in business, in my personal life, or how I dressed, or the things that I had, they were the first thing I wanted to do was customize and make sure that they were mine, that they were different from the rest. And this path of looking for knowledge and looking for education and really looking at myself and what was important turned me into a seeker of knowledge, and very much a believer in that it's not about being an individual, and we are very much part of something bigger than that. Distinct, yes. I think we're very distinct souls with our own gifts and things and lessons that we can help teach others, or we can learn from others. I think we are distinct, but I don't think we're individual, that we're a start of something bigger. And when I started exploring that, and there's so many, the information that is available to us on the internet. Now, a person has to educate themselves, but like you speak all the time, there is all this education out there. So now that we can leverage it and have these beautiful conversations with individuals like yourself, I'm looking forward to what you can teach me as to how to better educate myself, maybe another book to read or another path to go down. And I've just had this wonderful, successful journey of leaving my corporate world and getting into therapy, helping individuals, reframe and release self-limiting beliefs so that they can explore something a little bit more than just getting up in the morning and paying the bills.
Beautiful, Layton. That's awesome. The fact that you found your purpose and now you're working in it, offering your solutions and helping folks. I love that. And that's very, very inspiring. Okay, so I've got some questions here. I want us to talk about the unconscious mind. So, what are some patterns of the unconscious mind?
Beautiful question. Yeah, the unconscious mind. To back up just a little bit, there's your conscious mind is your day-to-day mind that you decide whether or not you're going to walk to work today or you're going to ride your bicycle. That's the mind that when you go to the grocery store, you say hello to people and you decide I'm going to buy apples instead of oranges. That's your day-to-day conversation type mind. And your unconscious mind, it's down here and it's making those important decisions. It actually makes the majority of the decisions in your life. And, those decisions are based off situations, happenings, not necessarily always traumatic. People think about the unconscious mind is that it formed beliefs when it was in trauma. This is true. Your unconscious mind is very powerful. It only wants to keep you safe. That's its only job. And it is referred to as your reptilian brain because it's not actually very smart. It's not an intelligent brain. It's that fight or flight mechanism. It's the brain that comes forward when your conscious mind gets confused or your nervous system is off regulated. Your conscious mind gets out of the way. Your unconscious mind comes forward and says, all right, I've got this. and it's fight or flight. It's sit or it's run, and it's going to make those big decisions for you. So your unconscious mind, it forms beliefs, especially when you're young and you're in that impressionable state, up until you're about 8 years old, and it can form beliefs in error. As a child, you don't know what's going on in the outside world. You can perceive something incorrectly from how a parent, they weren't making that comment directed towards you. They could have been making it, towards a situation in general, not blaming you. And you could take on a belief that, oh, I don't like how this makes me feel. Obviously, I'm not enough, so I'm not going to put myself in this type of situation. These can lead to relationship issues later on in life, issues in work, even with commitment, all these types of things. So a lot of the beliefs that the unconscious mind make are based on the past. And the beauty of that, to speak to what you asked, the decisions that it makes, it's going to make the decisions, for instance, what kind of partner am I going to bring into my life? What type of, these friends? We might think our conscious mind is making these decisions. Hey, I get along with this guy because he's into A, B, and C. This coworker is also good at A, B, and C, so I'm going to bring them into my circle or my work friendship. So we think that we're making those decisions with our conscious mind, but really our nervous system and our unconscious mind is forming those beliefs based on how we're feeling about the situation and our past. All of our decisions with our unconscious mind are based on our past history, thus repeating loops. And sometimes those loops can be of a negative behavior.
Wow. I got that. And that was very insightful. You see, I would have to listen to our conversation again and again because I want to process it all and leave nothing behind. Beautiful. I love that. So let us talk about healing. Okay. So how does sound and frequency affect healing?
Oh, that's a fun question. I, again, to go back 10 years ago, if you'd have told me that I'd have been studying sound and frequency, I'd have, looked at you sideways and just thought, why, that doesn't make any sense. When I was doing my, I guess you don't want to call it your apprenticeship, my practicum for my therapy license, we became involved with some soundscapes from the Imperial College of London. And they're engineered sound and frequency that affect parts of your brain, not so much as they agitate, but they activate certain parts of your brain that are active during certain aspects of your nervous system, certain parts of when your unconscious mind is making decisions. And they correlated and said, hey, when you're making these types of decisions or having these types of emotions, these parts of your brain are also highlighted when there's this type of frequency involved or there's this type of wavelength involved. So they isolated those. And then now we can use big speakers with left and right channels, true stereo speakers, and allow people to come into a very calm nervous system regulated state simply with these left and right channels and utilizing certain frequencies and tones that help put your nervous system into the desired state. And we've used that with individuals that, not everyone has access to their unconscious mind. Not everyone is good to talking about their feelings or even good with understanding their feelings. I'll be 50 years old this year. There's a lot of individuals my age and slightly older that, we were told to buck up, power through, pull up your bootstraps, you push that stuff down. And if you don't know how to deal with those, or you have these emotions coming up and you don't know how to deal with them, very often people go to anger because it's fear and they don't know how to deal with it. And the sound that we utilize, we allow people to come into a relaxed state and just enjoy the sound. And it can help them bring some of those emotions up, bring some of those feelings up, without having to really acknowledge what they're going to do with them. But it helps get things moving. And then we give them an opportunity to share after, what were you feeling? It doesn't necessarily have to be a memory. Sometimes it can just be a reoccurring feeling in your body. It can be a gut pain, could be anxiety, could be something. And we allow people to do this in a safe space if they don't know where to start. It's a beautiful tool.
Wow. I never knew that. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to look so young like you when I clock 50.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there's this beautiful word, and it's so new to me. So, can you talk to us about, is it psychedelics? What is that? Got it?
Yes. So, psychedelics,
Yeah.
I work as a certified hypnotherapist. So we help people come into a relaxed meditative state, grounding the nervous system so that they can access their unconscious mind and bring forward any self-limiting beliefs like I had spoke of earlier. So that their nervous system, they can say, this is fine. I formed this error. I might have formed this belief that I am not enough. I am not lovable. I do not deserve. There could be a belief in there. So the reason I preface this to your question is that we do grounding before people do therapeutic psychedelics. They are now starting to explore into using therapeutic psychedelics. And we work people with the majority of the people that we work with and practitioners utilize psilocybin, which is the common term would just be the, magic mushrooms. And we also work with other practitioners that utilize iboga and really any of the other therapeutic, government approved, the MDMAs and ketamines of the world that they use for people with, severe PTSD, a lot of veterans, first responders, those types of individuals that are having, they've seen terrible things, they've witnessed horrible things, their nervous system is shot, and they're trying to get a reset. So what we do on the hypnotherapy end of things is we bring those people in like even a day before, a week before, and allow them to access their unconscious mind and help them set an intention. Why are you doing this? What continues to come up that is giving you this feeling of anxiety, this feeling of not enoughness, this feeling of not being able to return to who you feel you were before this traumatic event that has triggered you, for lack of a better term? So that when these individuals go into these safe therapeutic psychedelic states, they know why they're there. It's no different than if, we came into this conversation with an intention. If you go to a meeting, you go in with an intention. It helps you keep your nervous system, on path. It helps you keep your unconscious mind on task and helps keep you safe when you're in either, whether it's a meeting, a conversation, or this therapeutic psychedelic journey. And then when they come out, we utilize the hypnotherapy again. When they're all, a week later after they've noticed some releases, some energetic transfers, maybe some emotional shifts in how they think or how they don't think about certain things anymore, then we allow them to come into that state again and say, how are you feeling now? Is this what you were looking for? And if it is, we help them rewrite the script in their unconscious mind and say, this is your unconscious mind. It has formed errors or it has formed beliefs. And we are going to allow you to rewrite those beliefs now that you are safe, you are allowed, you are enough.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I have one more question, right? So how have psychedelics helped people lead better in business?
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. We've worked with some small business groups to help them make decisions on what their alignment is. We normally work with the C-suite individuals, which is the higher end of not so much the daily workers that, we work with anyone. But if a company can come in and say, we want to think outside the box. We aren't sure if we want to grow our business, if we want to branch out into franchises. We're not sure if we want to keep our same business model and just make it, a different feeling for our customers, whether they have a restaurant or whether they have a commercial grade business. Do we want to change the quality of our product? Do we want to branch it out? What do we want to do here? And if they're unsure, we can bring them in and we utilize the hypnotherapy again. You always do when you're working with those types of substances to make sure that they go in with an intention of, we're looking for some self-expansion. We're looking for some self-expression. We want to really explore what's available to us in the line of thinking, think outside the box. And we can allow to do that and then have them have a low dose psychedelic experience going in there with the intention of, we want to explore what's available in our minds and our thinking. And when they come out of that, we'll allow a safe space to share where they can journal, they can talk amongst themselves and brainstorm about, hey, I think we're going about this. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. And they come out excited, rejuvenated with a different line of thinking that maybe, their conscious mind wasn't allowing them because they're just like, oh, no, I don't want to. Somebody else is doing that. And it allows them to really think about like, no, I'm passionate about this. I'm thinking from my heart.
That's amazing. And that's a great approach. I love that. So to bring this to an end, Layton, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to be a part of the beautiful things you're doing, or they've got questions, or they'd like to learn more about everything we've discussed, how can that be possible?
Yeah, well, anybody who would like to speak more about any of the things we do, our website for the clinic is lifecraft.ca. We are a clinic up in Canada. We do a lot of work over Zoom as far as consults and answering any questions. So it's easy enough. It's so easy to do on the website there. And some stuff that I would like to leave you with, this was a beautiful conversation. I appreciate you reaching out and wanting to talk about things. And, what I would like to say to people is, if you have an itch or you have something that is eating at you in the back of your mind, that get curious about it, lean into it. People are so quick in this day and age to, if they get in a funk, even if it's if their belly's bothering them and they're feeling anxiety or something like that, they're so quick to want to get out of this funk. They're like, I'm going to go work out right away. I'm going to go get rid of this. I'm going to go listen to some music. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to get rid of this emotion. Well, I suggest, to people to sit in it for a minute and say, what is it that is making me feel this way? Why do I choose or why do I choose to run away from this? Why, sit in it, ask yourself what it is about this feeling that is causing this, and be curious about yourselves. We're supposed to be our best friends with our, and love ourselves. So, really put the time into realizing who you are.
Beautiful, and that's profound, and I love that. So that's going to be the end of the show, Layton. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this high-opening stuff with us. It means a whole lot, my man. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, my friend. It's good talking to you.